Are back on May 20th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League Sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, and Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
Hey, boaters!
From fishing to water sports and everyday essentials like anchors and life jackets, along with an incredible selection of hardware, Kendor Marine is a boater's paradise. This is Dave Doro, and our endless selection of boating parts and accessories all but assure you one-stop shopping for all your boating needs. And that's why boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water. Hey, boaters!
This is Dave Doro from Kendor Marine. And if you're a boater and you haven't been here, ask around. And I think some of your boater buddies will tell you you're missing out. Because at Kendor Marine, we have everything you need but the water. And when you get here, you'll know that's no exaggeration. So get in the know, because boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine. We got everything you need but the water.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
You can't beat Berghardt.
New Berlin and Fox Point.
Sponsored by Tehan Greenhouses in Oak Creek. Buy direct and local for all your garden plants.
Tehan Greenhouses in Oak Creek. Come shop and see the beautiful hanging baskets and deck-ready potted plants and vegetable plants, too. Tehan Greenhouses. Buy direct from the grower. Tehan.
The Brewers head to Cleveland Town to get them just a bit outside, and then
Swing and a miss! He struck him out! Trevor McGill went back to the curveball.
our coverage against the Guardians starts today at 4:35 on your home for the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure. Your top story, new information about the Fredonia standoff.
I'm Julia Fellow. A major investment for MPS.
I'm Debbie Loziga. Northbound 43 backing up from about Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up to Keefe. Southbound slowing down from Capitol Drive down to Burleigh. Southbound on 41. You got backups basically from Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive, with the northbound side slowing down just before Mayfair Road all the way up to about Hampton. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52 degrees. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 74. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, new information on an armed standoff in the village of Fredonia that ended peacefully after 38 hours in the Ozaukee County community.
On the second floor of the two-story home in Fredonia, Ozaukee County Sheriff Christy Knowles says a 37-year-old man was armed to the teeth and making threats towards law enforcement.
We knew he had firearms, and there was a lot of firepower in that home.
As for the length of time the standoff took,
I will do everything in my power to make sure I don't have to tell a parent, an officer's wife or husband, that they died because we chose to rush in when we had that threat controlled from the outside.
In Port Washington, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The father of the Madison school shooter is now out on bond. 42-year-old Jeffrey Ruppnell faces 3 felony charges, including intentionally providing a dangerous weapon to a minor and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. His daughter, 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow, used a legally purchased gun in their home. That's what they're accused of. In the deadly Abundant Life Christian School shooting last December, 3 people died, 6 others were hurt. 1 is still in the hospital recovering. Rupnow is due back in court on June 9th.
A 3-year-old is recovering after being shot overnight on Milwaukee's northwest side. The shooting happened near 34th and Hour just before 11 p.m. Police say they're still looking for suspects.
Another Milwaukee public school closes over lead.
Brown Street school students are officially relocating to Douglas Middle School as of today. The move is part of MPS's lead action plan, a district-wide effort to make the older buildings safer by addressing lead hazards like peeling paint and dust. Currently, MPS has 4 schools closed for lead cleanup in addition to Brown Street, including Starham's Early Childhood Center, La Follette School, and Westside Academy. MPS says both moves are aimed at ensuring staff and students have access to safe learning environments. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
Multiple philanthropic organizations, including the Greater Milwaukee Committee, are earmarking funds, $500,000 worth, to support initiatives by Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casalius. Dr. Casalius tells WTMJ what the money will be used for.
Mostly around communication, trust building work, professional development for our staff and our team.
The Greater Milwaukee Foundation will be the financial steward and manager of the fund.
President Trump called it stupid today for him to turn down the gift of a luxury Boeing jet from Qatar.
His critics will say that this is an incredibly obvious conflict of interest here in accepting a gift from a foreign government in this way, and that it raises ethical and also legal concerns. Some Democrats in Congress saying that in order for President Trump to accept a gift like that from a foreign country, they would need congressional approval. President Trump disagrees with that, so we're not exactly sure when or how this transfer would happen.
Qatari officials told The Hill the plane would not be given to Trump during his trip to the country this week.
Coming up, a terrifying sight in the California sky.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:05.
Looking for a getaway with fantastic outdoor recreation? Sheboygan is a perfect destination. Hike or bike through Kohler Andre State Park and other local parks. There are all kinds of water sports, including surfing, paddleboarding, and kayaking. Sheboygan's walkability takes you to South Pier. Visit shops, play mini golf, and enjoy fine dining. Shop their farmers market and take in live music. It's the Malibu of the Midwest. Plan your getaway today at visitsheboygan.com.
Do you have the greatest possible fire protection?
Fire sprinklers protect lives and property in your building.
Are you ensuring that your fire sprinkler system is receiving the proper care that it requires?
Just like the other systems within your building, it is essential that the fire sprinkler system be inspected, tested, and maintained.
Protect your investment and, most importantly, occupants and firefighters by incorporating a regular ITM program in your building.
For more information, visit nfsa.org.
That's nfsa.org.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they called a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:07.
A Northern California neighborhood is pleading with Pacific Gas and Electric for help with an exploding bird problem. ABC's Alex Stone.
In the East Bay city of Richmond, along Bernhardt Avenue, they have a problem. Birds keep exploding. They land on a certain power line and they're immediately electrocuted. Bird carcasses litter the street.
So when they land and it happens, they just quickly explode, and it's just really violent.
Maximilian Bowling says they've been calling PG&E. They come, they look from the ground and say everything is fine.
We think is that the protector seal or some kind of the sheathing isn't there anymore.
PG&E says it's investigating. Alex Stone, EBC News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. NBA general managers are gathered at the League Scouting Combine in Chicago. And Brewers starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff's 30-day rehab assignment is expiring. And barring a setback, the Brewers will have to activate Woodruff from the injured list by Tuesday. The Brewers' road trip continues tonight in Cleveland against the Guardians. Coverage begins at 4:30 on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 3:08.
Here's to time out on the water in Wisconsin. To living your best life while enjoying the lake life.
Ready?
And getting up on a wakeboard the very first try. Or not. Here's to wearing only swimsuits and wishing this perfect day would never end. Here's to those who Wisconsin. Start your summer getaway at travelwisconsin.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. As we age, stuff starts to go wrong. Your knee's not how it should be. Your shoulder's bothering you a little bit. That's actually me. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin can help take care of you. Or maybe you have a youngster in your house that got injured playing sports. Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin and their centers of excellence can take care of you and your family big time. Advanced diagnostics like MRI and CTs mean that many times surgery is not even required. The top doctors in the area. Here's how you get started. Go to their website, OHOW.com. You pick out a doctor and then hit the request an appointment. That's the whole key here. Request an appointment. You make no commitment other than to get on the track to feeling better. OHOW.com. Request an appointment.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John Mercure and Julia Fellow.
All right, happy Monday. Hope your mothers out there had a fantastic Mother's Day.
How did Michelle have?
It was nice. Both the girls were in town.
I know.
We chilled out. She went shopping, I think, for a while on Sunday. Then we just sat on the deck all day. It was just, what a beautiful day to be outside, wasn't it?
It was fantastic.
It is a super, super day. All right, let's get to the things that we are tracking down today.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
All right, the 3 at 3 is sponsored, by the way, by our good friends at Flanners. How cool
Isn't
is
this
that?
excellent?
It's so good.
It's our
Flanners,
first time.
home entertainment. Visit them at flanners.com. All right, where do we
Number
start,
1.
Julia?
The league sources tell ESPN for the first time in his career, Giannis is open to explore if his best long-term move is leaving Milwaukee. ESPN's Sham Charania tells the news that they're monitoring Giannis's availability.
Obviously, his availability is something every team's going to be monitoring, but he's played 12 years there. There's a lot of equity there, and so he's going to have really the next few weeks to explore his options.
The New York Times has been reporting that the Brooklyn Nets have been amassing draft capital and assets to acquire someone like Giannis, and Sports Illustrated says the front office at the Lakers have been breaking down the potential trade package to get the Greek Freak, but that is a very long shot. They're also talking about Miami as well, so we will see.
Hey, the second thing that we're tracking is really a tragic story. Here out of Milwaukee, a 5th person has died as a result of a Mother's Day apartment fire. This was a tragic situation. 7:45 yesterday morning on Mother's Day, first responders go to the Highland Court Apartments. That's on Highland Boulevard. 22 engines, 8 ladder trucks responding. Eddie Edwards was a resident of the complex that caught fire. He spoke to WISN's James Stratton about his experience, which included leaping for safety and helping others.
Eddie Edwards says he jumped from his 4th floor balcony.
I wasn't thinking about nothing but getting away, getting out, and saving everybody's life, and it was a scary moment.
So you jumped from the 4th floor balcony?
Yes, and landed on my feet like a cat.
And later caught a neighbor's toddler.
And I said, just toss the baby right there. Just toss him to me, I'll catch you. And then she tossed him, then she climbed out of her window, and then she climbed down through the balcony.
Whoa, that is amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
And there are new developments this afternoon. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky with us exclusively coming up at 3:15.
Number 3, it's Armed Forces Week, which means Milwaukee has celebrated this for more than 20 years, honoring the sacrifices given by past and present military members and their families of all branches who reside in our area. The week-long celebration features several events open to the public. It culminates on a military display at Harley-Davidson Museum on Armed Forces Day. Tonight is the Armed Forces Banquet Dinner. The theme this year is Forward with Strength, and one award will be given out, the Citizen Support for Armed Service Awards. and it recognizes people who support our military and veterans in outstanding ways as civilians. Notable recipient includes Bob Uecker, and this year, John Mercure. Through WTMJ Cares mission helped raise how much? More than $70,000?
Yeah, $80,000
Wow.
for Cy John. Yeah.
To repair the Captain Lance Cy John Memorial, which he was a POW during the Vietnam War, and he's also extremely active in the Stars and Stripes honor flight. So, John, that's so
I'm humbled.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm humbled. I was genuinely speechless when I was told I was getting the award. It's such an honor because the men and women who wear the uniform are the bravest people that I know.
And you have a speech tonight, right?
Just a little one, yeah. I'm nervous about that. I talk for a living, but I'm nervous to be in a room with all people who are like my heroes.
Do we have bullet points or a script?
I do. I have a couple bullet points. I didn't really write anything out. I got bullet points so I don't
Okay.
forget a couple things, but thank you for saying
And text
that. That's
watch.
very
You
nice.
can see how great John looks. He's ready for the banquet already.
Hey, this segment, by the way, the 3 at 3, is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment. We're so happy about that. You can visit them at flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Just press play.
Does music matter to you? Flanners Home Entertainment wants to help you have the best music experience at home. They've got high-quality products, the best prices, and high-fidelity expertise for the best sound in and outside your home. Now is a great time to shop Flanners with our Music Matters sale event. All speakers, all amplifiers, receivers, turntables, CD players, music streamers, and accessories are on sale. Visit Flanners Home Entertainment today in West Allis, Grafton, or at flanners.com. Sound advice at the best price. Flanners. Just press play.
The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe, June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Loyal Family Renovations, they're the best when it comes to doing roof and the work around your house. They did my roof. One of the things that was a big relief was that they helped with the insurance company. They negotiated that and navigated it for me. They're thorough and polite, a local husband and wife team. I just talked to Amy, the wife, on the phone this afternoon, as a matter of fact. Jeff and Amy are absolutely amazing. They did our roof, gutters, downspouts, even the skylights after a hailstorm came through. They are the best. It says it in the name of the company, Loyal and Family. It's Loyal Family Renovations. Your family's home is their top priority. Always get in touch with the teams I trust at Loyal Family.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel, conveniently located in the heart of downtown Milwaukee's Theater District. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, artist in residence, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. For convenient car shopping and financing, visit Heiser Automotive Group at one of their 4 locations, Toyota, Chevy, Ford, Lincoln, and Cadillac, or visit Heiser.com because today's your day.
Traffic and weather, Debbie Lazaga, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Definitely seeing some delays out there, especially along 41 southbound. We're looking at backups from before Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. The northbound side, we've got delays right before Mayfair Road all the way up to about Hampton. We've also got right at the ramp from Watertown Plank Road, the left shoulder blocked with a broken down vehicle, so kind of in a weird spot. Northbound 43 slowing from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. Southbound a little bit heavy from Capitol down past Locust, and then again right through the Marquette interchange and over the high-rise bridge, only to slow down once again from about Lapham all the way down to the KK River crossing. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
The WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 52. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, a high of 77. Thursday, chance for thunderstorms in the afternoon, maybe strong, a high of 82 on Thursday. Friday, breezy, a high of 71 degrees. It's currently 68.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News podcast is sponsored by Dave Dracamp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDracamp.com.
Okay, terrible story. On yesterday, Mother's Day, Chief Aaron Lipsky announcing earlier today that a 5th person has died after a terrible, tragic apartment fire. on Highland Boulevard. 22 engines, 8 ladder trucks, multiple communities responding. Chief Lipsky is with us this afternoon on the hotline. Chief, good afternoon. First, thank you for the work your men and women do. I mean, they gave up part of your Mother's Day, and we appreciate that.
Well, much credit due to the firefighters that were on that scene because they were in punishing conditions, John, and thank you so much for your interest.
I want to ask you about something Julie and I have been spending a lot of today talking about. An 85-unit building, more than 100 people were living there, well over that, built in 1968, and didn't have sprinklers. Explain how that is possible.
So, John, in 1974, after much lobbying on the part of fire chiefs across the United States, a law was passed requiring sprinklers in buildings over a certain number of units or size or height. Buildings built prior to that would not be required to retrofit, and that's occurred in many different ways over the years, not just about sprinklers, but in what is called the grandfather clause, meaning if it's already built without the safety measures in place, you don't have to retrofit it. And that's a gross miscalculation for the lives of the people that still reside in those buildings and still have combustible furnishings and walls and floors and appliances and whatnot. And that played itself out in horrific, deadly fashion yesterday.
Oh, my goodness. That is horrible. Do we know if there were any sprinklers anywhere? Was anything redone over the past few decades?
There were no sprinklers, Debbie, in any of the living areas, in any of the apartments, in any of the hallways, in any of the stairwells, in any of the common areas. There was one small sprinklered area in a separate, isolated part of the building, but it's just this little tiny rear area that was a small parking garage that had a run of sprinklers in it, but that had no impact and nothing to do with where all the people actually live.
All right, Chief, so take us inside what sort of difference this would have made for the people in those units if there had been sprinklers like there are in a modern facility, the difference for them and the difference for your men and women trying to put the fire out.
So they would be two completely different sets of circumstances. Quite simply, a very, very small fire would have been stopped as a very, very small fire. We would have been able to go in there and do some mop-up work and blow a little bit of smoke out. But we likely could have handled this with, a couple of fire engines and maybe one or two ladder trucks and one chief, because the sprinkler is truly the fastest water you can get on a fire. What that means in visceral terms is people would not have had to make a choice between jumping 4 floors or simply walking out the door, down the hallway, and down the stairs. It definitely means we would have had far less loss of life, far less critical injuries, and far less risk to the firefighters who themselves were just displaying unbelievably heroics yesterday morning. But if you think about what happened, we went to 5 alarms extremely quickly. That is an enormous chunk of the city's fire and rescue resources. But we also drew in resources from the city of Wauwatosa, the city of West Allis. And then because we move our own resources around as part of shared services within Milwaukee County, we knew we were drawing the rest of the county down. So we got assistance to backfill in our stations from as far away as Pewaukee, Brookfield, City of Waukesha, Kettle Moraine, New Berlin, Mugwanago, Western Lakes Fire Department. So this had far-reaching impacts. None of that drawdown would have been necessary if there were sprinklers in this building. But the most important thing is we would not have had the loss of life.
Oh, that's awful. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky joins us on the line this afternoon. Can you talk about how quickly it spread, and did that make it really hard for firefighters to go in?
Yeah, absolutely. There was, just based on the construction of the building, a lot of open hallway space that's not broken into smaller areas. The fire traveled very quickly, but the smoke, the punishing smoke, was let to go everywhere, and that impacted people even well remote from where the actual fire was, who themselves were just trying to flee. It is, I don't want to make too big a deal out of the good work the firefighters did, but I just don't know if people understand how difficult it is to carry a human body down a ladder, and to get people to come out of a window onto a ladder at 3 or 4 stories. It requires a certain language to be had at the top of that ladder. We are now up to, just on ladder rescues alone, and we've broken it down so we're not double counting. We're up to 48 ladder rescues that occurred yesterday morning.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
I mean, I've never been to a fire in my career where we've had those numbers coming out the windows. That's how punishing this smoke was.
That puts so many of your firefighters in danger. We need to.
Wow.
How do we fix this?
Well, we, if I have a magic wand, we get policymakers on page to listen to their fire chiefs and to start implementing some stronger codes and ordinances so that we can retrofit some of these buildings with sprinklers. And yes, it costs money, and yes, that I can't make the money fall off of trees, but this loss of life has to mean something.
Absolutely.
He is Milwaukee Police Chief Aaron Lipsky. Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky. Please thank your men and women for us, and thanks for making some time for us, Chief.
Absolutely, John and Debbie. I appreciate your interest.
Man, that is a tragic situation. No doubt about that. It is 3:24 at WTMJ. Let's check those markets. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Everything soared today. The Dow was up actually 1,161 points. That's almost 3%. The NASDAQ was up 780 on the day. That's 4 1/3% in one day. And the S&P 500 was up 184. That's 3 1/4%. Annex Wealth Management, know the difference.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
They're going to award the runner home. And now Pat Murphy's been tossed.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
I wonder if there's a way that we can fix this in the middle of the year. In the eyes of the rule, it's got to be clear, egregious, and violent. That was not the case.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers, WTMJ.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I'm joined by my good friends Jeff and Cynthia Gillane. They are the founders of Vita Hearing Care. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, John. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thanks for having us.
So good to have you guys here. I want to start with a very basic question. How important is it that when people can't hear right, that they get it taken care of?
I'm going to say very, very important, because hearing matters more than you think.
It does. And I would jump in here and say, I'm a customer of yours, and I agree. It's changed my life. It's made it better. Cynthia, how cool is it when someone comes into the office and you can make that life-changing alteration for them?
We love it. There's so many jobs you can have where you don't make a difference in people's lives and you're just going to work 9 to 5. And in this one, we make a difference and we get hugs in return for it.
Hugs are always good. Jeff, there are real cognitive issues that happen if you have bad hearing, aren't there?
Yes, there is. All our senses, and hearing is one of our senses, all end up in the brain, right? And it all ends up in the cognitive area of the brain. It was determined that untreated hearing loss can lead to cognitive dysfunction and cause senile dementia.
It definitely is real. I love your family-owned. You have 2 locations in Mount Pleasant and Waterford. Start with the website, VitaHearingCare.com, VITA HearingCare.com. And Jeff, Cynthia, you guys make it quick and easy, don't you? It's pretty in and out.
Yes, it is. Pick up a phone, give us a call. One of our offices will schedule you either in Mount Pleasant or Waterford, easy locations to get to. A couple of quick things to fill out as far as paperwork. We do a hearing test, bring you out of the booth, review the results, and determine if we need to proceed further with hearing devices.
It's quick. I went through the process. It's quick and easy. Here's how you should start. 2 locations, Mount Pleasant and Waterford. You can find out about both of them at VitaHearingCare.com, VITA HearingCare.com. Locally, family-owned. They do things the right way at Vita. Jeff and Cynthia, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us today.
Thank you, John. We appreciate our opportunity to work with you.
Hey, everybody, Debbie Lazaga here, and I am so excited because Kohler Services just transformed my old bathtub into a beautiful new Luxstone shower. Kohler Services made it so easy. They came out to my home, they helped me design the shower, and when they were here for the installation, they hauled the old tub away. Stephen, Luke, and Will were just totally focused and professional installers the entire time. I'd recommend them to anyone. Hey, you can request your free quote for a custom Kohler Luxstone shower by visiting KohlerServicesWI.com. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
We didn't write the headline. The Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Market shifts, economic uncertainty, and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. No doubt, standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil, and we're totally on board with that. But retirement planning isn't a set-it-and-forget-it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized financial, retirement, estate, and tax plans that adapt as needed and put your goals first always. Already with another firm, but getting the feeling you're lost in the shuffle or they just can't keep up? A second opinion could be the smartest move you could make. If you're managing it yourself, we'll fill in the gaps with professional precision. You work hard to build your future. Don't leave it to chance. Put a pro on your side. Get a proactive plan from a fee-only fiduciary. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
I had seen people with the bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day.
Visit OvationHand.com. OvationHand.com.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 3:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, creative tactics to end a Fredonia standoff.
I'm Julia Fellow. Tariff relief for one major trade partner.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Northbound 41 continues a heavy ride before Mayfair Road all the way up past Hampton. We've got a broken down vehicle on the left shoulder as well, right about at Watertown Plank Road, so just be careful with that. On the southbound side, backing up from Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Eastbound 94, watch for delays from 76th Street all the way to 35th. The westbound side slowing from 25th Street past Mitchell Boulevard. And then on 43 southbound, we got backups from Capitol Drive to Locust, and then from Fond du Lac Avenue down over the high-rise bridge all the way to the KK River crossing. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A few showers are possible late tonight, a low of 52. They continue into tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy though, a high of 72 degrees.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, new information shedding light on a days-long armed standoff in the village of Fredonia.
While reflecting on a nearly 38-hour standoff, Ozaukee County Sheriff Christy Knowles says her team is exhausted but relieved that the situation ended peacefully.
A lot of this was meant to plan his psyche and break him, and he eventually was broke.
Knowles says the suspect is a 37-year-old man who had previously expressed disdain for law enforcement.
This was a 2-officer response at all times based on some of the past history we had with him.
Multiple charges have been recommended but not yet filed. In Port Washington, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A Mother's Day morning fire leaves 5 people dead and 3 in critical condition.
Firefighters rescued about 30 people trapped in an apartment building near 27th and Highland Boulevard. The 4-story building is uninhabitable, leaving about 100 residents displaced. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says the fire started in a common area. The building was not required to have sprinklers in the residential areas. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel found a building code violation for parking structure sprinklers in April 2024. Records show it took 9 follow-up inspections over nearly a year for the building to resolve the violation. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
And we just had Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky on with us, an exclusive. He told us that there were 48 ladder rescues, the most he's ever had in his career. If you text WAN, W-A-N, it stands for Wisconsin's Afternoon News, to 855-616-1620, you can hear the full interview, WAN to 855-616-1620.
Meanwhile, in northern Wisconsin, wildfire danger is extremely high for 19 counties. A red flag warning on Sunday. The State Department of Natural Resources expects elevated fire conditions to continue through today. They're urging extra caution with campfires, fireplace ashes, outdoor grills, smoking, and off-road vehicles. The DNR responded to 100 wildfires in the first week of May.
The U.S. and China agreed to reduce tariffs on Chinese goods coming to the U.S. from 145% to 30%. Annex Wealth Management Chief Economist Brian Jacobson.
I think this actually gives another window of opportunity for businesses that can place the orders to get those orders placed, but then to track them. Are they on the ships before that 90-day window closes? And it is a gamble, but it's one where they demonstrated that, if anything, they can cancel those orders. Exports to the United States dropped about 20%.
The tariff reduction will last 90 days.
The federal criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs is underway in Manhattan. The disgraced music mogul stands accused of 5 counts, including racketeering and sex trafficking, but maintains his innocent. CBS's Jared Hill.
The mother of Sean Diddy Combs, along with his 6 oldest children, filed into court Monday as his sex trafficking trial got underway.
He's engaged. He's ready to go. He's ready to put on his defense.
The disgraced music mogul looked on as federal prosecutors called him a larger-than-life businessman who committed crime after crime for 20 years, including kidnapping, arson, drug offenses, sex crimes, bribery, and obstruction.
If convicted on all charges, Combs faces at least 15 years in prison.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All sports desk. Brewers starting pitcher Brandon Woodruff, 30-day rehab assignment expires tomorrow. The Brewers may have to activate him from the injured list by tomorrow, barring a setback. Brewers road trip continues tonight in Cleveland against the Guardians. Our coverage starts at 4:30 right here on WTMJ.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 3:35.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter. They're great dogs, and they're better behaved than they used to be. That is for sure, thanks to Sit Means Sit dog training. And Sit Means Sit makes it so easy. You can start with a free consultation. They've got multiple locations. Just ring them up on the phone. Get a time, go in, you meet the trainers, you see the place, they meet your dogs, you come up with a plan, and then your dogs are better behaved. You too can have a happy, confident, more obedient dog. Contact Sit Means Sit dog training today. They make it easy all the time. Great experience, better results. Our dogs are actually better behaved than they ever have been. I started working with Matt at Sit Means Sit dog training. They are absolutely awesome. It is Sit Means Sit dog training.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
Right downtown Bailey's Harbor in Door County this weekend will be a big parade full of dogs and their owners. It's all going to be Scottish Terriers, which I love because I have a Scottie named Murphy. And Scotland's flag will be flying with bagpipers and all, with Scotties wearing kilts. We have with us Michelle and her, actually, a Scottie friend, Nessa Marie, with her owner, Jim. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. We're happy to be here.
Look how cute that dog is, Julia.
I know. If you text WATCH to 855-616-1620, WATCH, you can see Nessa Marie. Oh. You can bring down that microphone towards your face if you'd like. Perfect.
Thank you.
Tell us about Nessa. She's a rescue, right?
She is. I'm going to let her dad talk about her.
Here.
So I don't know if that's going to happen.
Oh.
It's Jim. Go right ahead, Jim.
Okay, Ness was a rescue. She was owned by an elderly lady, and she passed away. And her daughter took Nessa in. But the daughter had 2 cats.
And that doesn't work.
And that doesn't work. Nessa loves cats. She's mesmerized by cats.
Well, I'm so glad you took care of her. And that's part of the Door County Scotty Rally is funding research and rescue. Can you talk about the parade? Because we have photos of the parade, too.
We
What does that look
absolutely
like?
can't talk about it. It looks like manna from heaven. It's so wonderful to see, anywhere from 80 to 150 Scotty dogs come together dressed up in the theme or dressed up in kilts, walking down the parade, and it's just a hoot. We're led by a group of bagpipers this year. It's Madison Pipes and Drums that are going to be leading the parade. And it's actually for people who come to the rally from all over the country. It is probably their personal favorite part of being at the rally is that parade.
Yeah, it's one of the largest Scotty gatherings in the country, John.
Wow.
Some people come from out of the country to this rally.
It's amazing. Text the word watch, and you can see the parade. You can see our cute little pup in the studio. Watch to 855-616-1620.
And this is all nonprofit. Can you talk about the money that you've raised? She's raised more than $400,000 at the Door County Scotty Rally.
Sure. So we started gathering in 2001, and since that time, we've actually raised and donated over $531,000.
Wow.
And those funds go for 2 primary things. One is to support Scottish Terrier rescue. We donate that money to specific nonprofits around the country that specialize in Scotty rescue. And then the other part of the proceeds go to support Scottish Terrier health research.
What's really interesting is that can help all dogs. A lot of Scottish Terriers, they have elevated liver enzymes, and also they can be very susceptible to bladder cancer. And what we found out through the Scotty research program that we've funded through the Scotty Rally is that if you give them something like broccoli, for example, or cauliflower, it'll help them reduce the risk of getting bladder cancer, for example.
Right. And just recently, one of the other things that we found out is that dogs who are raised in an environment where there's secondhand smoke, they have a higher risk of cancer.
Oh, so very similar to people.
Correct. And the other thing that we started doing actually about 20 years ago, because my first dog I lost because of bladder cancer, we started getting the vets from Fox Valley Animal Referral Center at that time to donate their time, bring down ultrasound machines or bring them up to us in Bailey's Harbor. So every year we offer abdominal ultrasound screenings for like $65. If you have to go to your vet, it's like $400 to $500.
Wow.
And so one of the parts of the research that we've found out is that by screening these dogs earlier on an annual basis, starting by age 6, we can find out those cancers, learn about those cancers earlier, and then have better options.
Julia, what is it about Scotties that are so special? You have a beautiful Scotty. Murphy is beautiful.
I think that they just have their own different personalities, and they're small, so I can pick them up, but they're extremely fierce and protective. Nessa Marie is the nicest Scotty I've ever met.
Yes.
Murphy would be biting people's faces off. I got Murphy because in Michigan, it was kind of a rough neighborhood I was in. And I knew my mom grew up with one named Teddy, and they always talked about him for decades, even
loyal
after
and protective.
Yeah, even long after he had passed away and I was born. So I thought I'd get him, and they're nicknamed the Die Hard because they're really that awesome. Jim, what would Nessa say if she could talk?
She would say, I'm getting a little tired. It's been a busy day.
When's my nap?
I don't mind getting petted.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I'll roll over.
Yes, she does.
If you want.
And what do you love about Scotties?
I love the fact that they have a huge attitude in a tiny little package.
Yeah, they're feisty. And they're beautiful, too.
Kinda like
They're
corgis.
so pretty. So they're beautiful dogs.
Corgis are a little friendly than
Sometimes,
Scotties.
yeah. But she's really friendly.
Oh, she's so sweet. So mine is white. So it's a Wheaton. Or they come in black, and they have little Scotty beards. It's a little bearded miniature dog.
Yeah.
And Nessa Marie is brindle, so she's black and white mixed together with speckles. It's so
How
pretty.
unusual is brindle?
You know, there are statistics on this, and I looked them up once. I think brindle are rarer than Wheatons.
Really?
No, the other way around?
Oh, I thought
okay.
my boy's the
I definitely see a lot of black. I think of black when I see that. Is that that's the most common?
Black is the iconic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go to DoorCountyScottyRally.org, DoorCountyScottyRally.org. Jim, I really appreciate your time with your dog,
Thanks,
Nessa.
Julie.
I appreciate it. And Michelle, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Go to DoorCountyScottyRally.org to learn more.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Flimsy, feeble, flaccid. That's how you can describe most pre-approval letters these days, because most banks still issue pre-approval letters without actually verifying your income, employment, or down payment. That's the exact opposite of an AccuNet rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval, where we put a $2,000 guarantee behind the fact the seller can actually rely on the terms of your pre-approval and offer. With AccuNet, there's also a possibility of issuing a property-specific pre-approval with as little as a 10% down payment that includes the magic words, "No appraisal required." That's right, AccuNet may be able to issue your pre-approval without needing an appraisal. That's the kind of certainty that can help a seller say yes to your offer. Sure, you can try competing with a flimsy bank pre-approval, or you can click on the blue button at AccuNet.com and get started with the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as the best in the business. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano talking with Dr. Mike Nolte at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Doc, a lot of people are hesitant to visit a surgeon for spine care.
The good news is that the vast majority of patients that I see and the majority of conditions that I can see can be successfully treated without surgery. And I don't want patients to think that just because you're seeing a spine surgeon means that you're going to be signing up for surgery. We talk about, in my clinic, kind of a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C.
Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. OrthoWisconsin.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Colders. I'm going to let you in on one of the best mattress deals happening right now at Colders. This is incredible. For a limited time, you can get a king-size Scott Living mattress for the same price as a queen. I'm going to tell you another secret. I just bought a Scott Living mattress at Colders, a king size. It is the most comfortable thing we've ever been on. It's perfect if you've been putting off replacing your mattress. Colders Scott Living mattresses are designed by the Property Brothers to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up feeling like your best self. These mattresses are the perfect balance between comfort and support with the ultimate cooling technology. I love that. The only thing better than a great Scott Living mattress is a bigger one for the same price. Colders right now is sweetening the deal even more. You get a free pillow set with any Scott Living mattress purchase. Shop this incredible deal on your best sleepover now through June 6th, in-store or online at Colders.com. I like the stores. They have the best salespeople. They're absolutely beautiful, and there's never been a better time to upgrade your mattress than now. Better quality, better service, better sleep. It starts at Colders.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods.
The all-new Burghardt Sporting Goods, the Midwest's best baseball and softball training facility and retail center in New Berlin and Fox Point.
Traffic and then weather. Debbie Lassica, how are the roads?
Well, we are seeing still those delays on southbound 43 from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette interchange down over the high-rise bridge. You're back on the brakes from Lapham all the way to the KK River. The bypass tightening up just a little bit right past National Avenue heading towards Oklahoma. Eastbound 94 slowing from 76th Street to Hawley Road and then again through the stadium to 35th. Westbound's just a little bit tight from 35th to Mitchell Boulevard. And then on 41 southbound, just basically a parking lot from Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Highway 100 starting to get a little bit tight as well as an alternate route. Just giving you that putting a little bug in your ear there. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Partly cloudy tonight, a few chances of showers late. The low will be 52. Very low wind eastbound, 5 miles an hour. Tomorrow, scattered showers are possible. It's mostly cloudy, 65 at the lake, 74 inland. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 60 at the lake, 77 inland. Thursday, partly cloudy. A chance of evening thunderstorms Thursday, some strong. Be weather aware Thursday. The high will be 74 at the lake, 82 inland. Friday it will be breezy, a slight chance of showers, partly cloudy, a high of 71. Right now in Milwaukee, it's mostly sunny at 66 degrees. In Madison, it's 81 degrees and partly cloudy. And in Green Bay, right now it's 82 degrees and sunny.
All right, we got a very special treat coming up, and this is a very special week. It is Police Week, and the Midnight Pipers is something that's been going on for several years, and I love this. The Greater Milwaukee Fire and Police Pipes and Drums on tomorrow at 11:55 at night at several police stations will be playing Amazing Grace as a salute to our men and women that wear the uniform. Gary Byers is with us here in the studio, and I wanted to start the segment by asking Gary if he will play Amazing Grace for us here in the studio. Oh, my gosh. That is so beautiful.
Excellent.
Beautiful. All right, we're going to let Gary set his pipes down and then grab his chair there and catch his breath. I couldn't even breathe if I had done that 3 times. Absolutely amazing. And we're going to give you a little bit more information here. Wasn't that stunning? That's absolutely beautiful. Here, I'll tell you what, Gary, we're going to put you right near where you were. Just grab that chair there, and please just slide up right by the microphone that you were. By the way, if you want to check out, this is going to happen at 11:55 tomorrow evening, so right before midnight, at several police departments in our area. I mean, all over the place. Cedarburg, Coleman, Fond du Lac, Franklin, Grafton, Greendale, Hales Corners, Hartford, Menominee Falls, Mequon, Milwaukee, Muskego, New Berlin, Oak Creek, Port Washington, Racine, St. Francis, Sheboygan, South Milwaukee, Watertown, Tosa, West Allis. 11:55 is when they will start. I say bring the family out. It's going to be decent weather, and take this in. Gary, thank you so much.
Thank you. One note. We have a late entry. Muskego is going to be, who is not on the list, but we will be at Muskego tomorrow night, too.
Excellent. Okay. Why is this important, Gary? Why do you guys do this?
First of all, every police officer makes a vow never to forget the fallen. They've done, they and their families have sacrificed the ultimate. And in 2020, when the pandemic hit, that custom was suspended in the National Police Memorial in Washington, D.C. So we were going to go that year, and so we didn't go. But we said, everybody got together and said, it would really be nice. We'll do it in Wisconsin. We started out with 15 locations in 2020. We now have 23. And
Wow.
we're only limited by the amount of pipers that will come and play at midnight. And
Amazing.
Why do you think there's such a strong connection between the bagpipers and the police and law enforcement across the country?
Tradition.
Yeah.
The funerals, almost all firefighters and police officers, their funerals, Amazing Grace is always played.
It's beautiful.
It brings tears to my eyes. Oh, how long have you been playing?
22, 23 years.
Wow. You're fantastic.
I started when I was 62, and I'm 85 now.
Oh, my gosh, Gary. That's
Wow.
so beautiful.
So we always tell everybody, you too can play the great Highland bagpipes. We got any number of people that are in their 60s playing, and they do a good job.
I see you at Honor Flight, and before, we still have a couple minutes left, but I don't want to let you leave without thanking you, because when we do a Stars and Stripes Honor Flight and our heroes come back through the airport, one of the things we hear often is one of the highlights of the entire day was getting off the airplane late at night after a long day, and they're surprised, because we don't tell them you guys are going to be there, to hear the bagpipes and to hear the patriotic songs. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's nobody wants to miss that. Not, no matter what appointments they've got or anything they got going on, they don't want to miss it. We got a good bunch of people.
So I understand you will be playing the pipes at these locations. The drums will be at some. Honor Guards will be there also. What's going to happen at these locations?
At the locations, if they have an honor guard, they usually make them available and present while we're playing. If they're not available, it's pretty nice. It's right at the change of shifts, and we usually get uniformed personnel there. But there's been occasions when the piper's been the only person there.
Wow.
And that's because the police officers, they get called away and they're not available.
Got it.
And so, but it doesn't make any difference. We're honoring the fallen, and if we're the only people there, we're honoring the fallen.
What does this week mean to you?
Pardon me?
Armed Forces Week. What does this mean to you?
Police Week, I was police officer for 32 years, and I remember mostly the camaraderie of the individuals and the satisfaction that everybody gets for helping somebody. It doesn't always happen that you can help somebody, but when it does, it's very gratifying.
Okay, so here's the best way to find out what's going on. So 11:55, so before midnight, they're the Midnight Pipers. Tomorrow at police stations throughout southeast Wisconsin. I'm not going to read you the list again because there's more that are doing it than are not doing it.
Right.
I think, Gary, is the best way. There's not a website where they're listed, is there?
Yes, Milwaukee, our website, they're all listed on the website.
Where will you be?
Yeah.
I'll be in the new one, Muskego.
Ooh.
Okay. So here's the deal. This is what I would do. I would Google Greater Milwaukee Fire and Police Pipes and Drums. I would Google, I'm just going off the top of my head here, what's this called? Midnight Pipers?
Mm-hmm.
Midnight Pipers.
Midnight Pipers. I think the website, I don't often use it, but it's bagpipesmilwaukee.com, I think.
Okay. We'll check on that and let people know. Bagpipesmilwaukee.com. You can also do this. Call the non-emergency number at your police department and see if they're doing it, but that's the non-emergency number. They'll be happy to tell you if the pipers are going to be out there. Gary Byers, we appreciate what you do for our community, what you do for our veterans, and thank you for your service also as a law enforcement officer.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Beautiful, beautiful music.
And we always look for you coming off the flight.
I appreciate it. I'm happy when I see you guys.
Yeah,
you put tears in my eye every single time. I've been on 39 flights, and every single time, Gary.
39.
Thank
Brandon
you.
is
We
saying
appreciate you.
MilwaukeeBagpipes.com.
Excellent.
MilwaukeeBagpipes.com.
There you go. Gary Byers, thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
It is 3:56 at WTMJ.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Harley-Davidson CEO Jochen Zeitz says his company evaluates options for the future of electric motorcycle company LiveWire. LiveWire lost over $200 million so far and sold just 33 electric motorcycles in the first quarter. GE Healthcare is the largest manufacturing employer in Metro Milwaukee and faces tariff impact of about $1 billion. Company says they mitigated half that cost, partly by doubling down on manufacturing in the United States for American customers and not cutting any jobs. Miller Brewing owner Molson Coors says it faces minimal tariff costs. The reason? Nearly all the company's beers are made in the markets where they're sold. I'm Rich Kirchen with MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This report is sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
For over 130 years, the Pfister Hotel in downtown Milwaukee has been delighting guests with impeccable service and luxurious accommodations. Celebrate your next special occasion with a stay at this newly renovated Milwaukee icon. Enjoy fine dining at acclaimed restaurants and pamper yourself with a service from the Wells Spa and Salon. Experience the hotel's afternoon tea program or take in live music with the best views of the city from Blue, the 23rd floor cocktail lounge. There's always a reason to celebrate with the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today at thepfisterhotel.com.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. With summer just around the corner, Wisconsin Harley-Davidson is gearing up for another year of riding adventures. Join them May 17th for their annual Bikes, Blessings, and the VFW. Start the summer off with a bike blessing on May 24th. Their annual honor celebration is happening with a ride to Wisconsin Memorial Park to place flags to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Both events will have live music, food, and so much more. For more information, go to WISHD.com or follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Hey, John Mercure here for Landworks. Are you thinking about increasing your curb appeal? I've got the quickest way to do that for you. A few changes can make a huge difference. The company that makes a difference is Landworks Wisconsin. They specialize in bringing your landscaping dreams to life. They did that for us. Right now, I'm so excited because everything's popping up through the mulch. It's coming in now. The stuff they planted last year is coming to life again this year. It's Landworks Wisconsin. They will refresh your existing gardens to create entirely new outdoor environments. Think about new plantings, inviting pathways, expertly designed spaces to relax and entertain. Call Landworks or visit landworkswisconsin.com. It's Landworks.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guests, What's Up Engineering and Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
For people with disabilities, an opportunity can make all the difference. Get help navigating the transition into adulthood, employment, housing, healthcare, and more with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that empowers people with disabilities.
I am super glad I have Down syndrome. I love my life. Don't be afraid if you want to have a job and live on your own.
Live life to the fullest. It all starts when you say yes. Contact a Thinkability Navigator to get help at thinkabilitywi.org.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or at your local CVS.
Built Right. One location saves you money.
You gotta get to Built Right today.
Flanners Home Entertainment, Flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
The Brewers head to Cleveland Town to get them just a bit outside and then...
Swing and a miss! He struck him out! Trevor McGill went back to the curveball.
Our coverage against the Guardians starts today at 4:35 on your home for the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
I'm John Mercure, your top story. New details on the 38-hour standoff.
I'm Julia Fellow, the father of the Madison school shooter, no longer in custody.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We do have a delay, big one, on 41 southbound from about Good Hope Road all the way down past Capitol Drive. Once you get past that, you should be good to go all the way to the zoo. The northbound side's backed up from Watertown Plank Road all the way up past Capitol as well. Southbound 43 on and off the brakes from Capitol Drive down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge to the KK River. Northbound, we've got backups coming out of the Marquette all the way to Keefe, and westbound 94 heavy from 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Tonight it's going to be partly cloudy, a low of 52. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 74. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a Mother's Day morning fire leaves 5 people dead and at least 3 in critical condition.
Firefighters rescued about 30 people trapped in an apartment building near 27th and Highland Boulevard. The 4-story building is uninhabitable, leaving about 100 residents displaced. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says the fire started in a common area. The building was not required to have sprinklers in the residential areas. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel found a building code violation for parking structure sprinklers in April 2024. Records show it took 9 follow-up inspections over nearly a year for the building to resolve the violation. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
In an exclusive interview last hour, Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says it's unlike anything he's ever seen in his entire career. You can hear that interview on our podcast page. Text the word WAN, W-A-N, to 855-616-1620.
An update on an hours-long standoff that started late Thursday night in Fredonia.
For nearly 38 hours from late Thursday through mid-morning Saturday, officials engaged in tactical manipulation with the 37-year-old male suspect on the second floor of a Fredonia home, heavily armed inside. Ozaukee County Sheriff Christy Knowles says it was ultimately an unmanned fire hose used multiple times that brought the man outside the home and into custody. He now faces multiple recommended charges but has not yet formally been identified. In Port Washington, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
The father of the Madison school shooter is now out on bond. 42-year-old Jeffrey Rupp now faces 3 felony charges. His daughter, 15-year-old Natalie, used legally purchased guns in their home in the deadly Abundant Life Christian School shooting last December. 3 people died, 6 others were injured.
Hamas has released an American-Israeli hostage, Idan Alexander. Marla Diamond reports.
The large crowd waved Israeli flags as word of Idan's release became official. Michael Burke has had a sign in his front yard for the past 19 months.
And on the sign, it crosses off. He was taken when he was 19, he's in captivity when he was 20, and now he's 21 years old. I mean, something like that's just incomprehensible.
The joy here tempered with sadness for the remaining hostages.
Some are alive, some are dead, and we just want this over already.
Marla Diamond for CBS News in Tenafly, New Jersey.
Coming up, an American author gets the Hamilton treatment.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 4:04.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Fleet Farms Garden Center has discounts on hundreds of plants, flowers, vegetables, fertilizers, and more. Like Farm Fresh Selects 10-inch hanging baskets for $17.99. And large bags of Miracle-Gro all-purpose garden soil for just $7.99. Plus, get a 21-inch full-bore 3-in-1 push mower on sale for only $259.99. When it comes to the great outdoors, let Fleet Farm handle all your patio, lawn, and garden needs at the best prices guaranteed.
Leading a nonprofit takes just the right mix of skills, experience, and passion. It is not easy to find those people. But Spano Pratt can help. They specialize in executive recruiting within the nonprofit world. From candidate discovery to assessment and selection, all the way to onboarding and executive coaching. The team at Spano Pratt is full of experts who identify talent that align with your purpose and mission. Go to SpanoPratt.com to start your search.
Summer's getting closer, and Brewers action at American Family Field is only heating up. Don't miss a Midwestern throwdown between the Brewers and the Twins, May 16th through the 18th. Get a Jedi Jack Centurio Star Wars night bobble with a special theme night ticket on the 16th. Then get here early for an exclusive Brewers cribbage board giveaway for the first 25,000 fans on the 17th. Presented by 620 WTMJ. Get tickets at brewers.com.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:06.
Mark Twain is getting the Hamilton treatment. Not the Broadway musical part, the original source part. Here's ABC's Sherry Preston.
I am not throwing away my shot. Before Alexander Hamilton's life was made into a Tony Award-winning musical by Lin-Manuel Miranda, it was a Pulitzer Prize-winning biography written by Ron Chernow. Now, Chernow has written a 1,000-page biography about author and humorist Mark Twain, a towering figure in American literature and humor who Chernow describes as someone willing to tangle with anyone. The massive 1,000-page book is actually short compared with Twain's own authorized biography, which clocked in at 2 volumes and 1,500 pages long. Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. NBA general managers, including John Horst from your Bucks, are gathered at the League Scouting Combine in Chicago. And the Brewers road trip continues tonight in Cleveland against the Guardians. Coverage at 4:30. Lane Grindle, yeah, that Lane, the best in the business, joins us live up next.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 4:08.
Okay, adventurers, listen up. Fox World Travel just dropped some seriously incredible Fox Group vacation destinations for 2026. Set sail on a yacht through the Croatian coastline, join a thrilling African safari, or immerse yourself in the mecca of all flower shows in London. And for the first time, we're introducing a woman's-only tour, partnering with Insight Vacations, Globus, and African Travel. But these are just a few of the exclusive offerings. But don't wait. They're filling up fast. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO to reserve your spot today.
Life is sweeter with better hearing. VitaHearingCare.com has helped me with my hearing. Seriously, I went in for the test. After years of knowing that my hearing probably wasn't great, it was confirmed. Michelle and I went in, and it's not. I've got hearing aids now, and now my hearing is better. Jeff and Cynthia, thank you so much. You should get it checked out. This work shows all the research details that it's bad for your health cognitively if you cannot hear right. Locally family-owned, it's Vita Hearing Care. The website is VitaHearingCare.com, VITA HearingCare.com. Mount Pleasant, Waterford, easy to get to. Life is sweeter with Vita.
Wisconsin's Afternoon News is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Here are your hosts, John McCure and Julia Fellow.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you're having a great Monday. Let's get to Lane, should we?
Are you trying to fix your hair?
I was trying to make sure my headsets are behaving rightly.
Oh, I thought you were trying to preserve your hair for the thing tonight.
No, I can't worry about my hair. I don't have enough hair to worry about.
Oh, please.
Lane Grindle, Brewers broadcaster, is with us. All right, Lane, you wear headsets for a living.
Talk about a head of hair.
Yes.
Do you ever worry about if you have an event after the game how your hair is going to look? Do you get headset hair?
I do. I have very thick hair, and it's very straight, so it's a problem for really anything that I do. I have calyx. It's just a mess. So I try to keep it cut pretty short, and people are always like, man, you get your hair cut a lot. But I go every 3 weeks or so, and that helps a lot. So, like, as an example, I got my hair cut today in Cleveland, and people are always like, do you try, like, you're going to get your hair cut in a town, you don't know anybody? And I do that because when I'm home, I want to be home. I don't want to have to worry about all of that. So it's one thing I can do on the road, and I don't have to worry about it when I'm home.
Do you have a place in each town?
Some towns I do. Some towns it's a leap of faith, and you hope it's fine. My hair grows so fast that, like, if it's a bad cut, I might hear about it from the guys in the clubhouse for a couple of days, and then it'll be over. So I'm willing to take that risk most of the time.
Hey, wanted to ask you about Brandon Woodruff. The news has just come down that he's going on the IL with an ankle injury. It's not related to his arm. I feel bad for Brandon Woodruff.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a tough blow, right? Like, clearly it doesn't seem like it's a real serious thing. So he's going to be back on the mound for the Brewers here eventually. But there's been a lot of anticipation for this. And the Brewers have weathered a storm without a lot of starting pitching already, so they were really excited to get him back. And I just think the emotional lift you get from having Brandon back on the mound for this team is worth a lot, too. So it's a really disappointing turn of events. I think the good news is this doesn't seem to be serious. He will probably make another start or two, though, down in the minors, it sounds like, before he does make his way back with the big league club. So it's going to be a few weeks at least, probably, before we see Brandon in the big leagues with the Crew. And we were all so excited and anticipating what this weekend was going to be like, and we're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
What about Tobias Myers? I mean, one day after all that terrible thing happened on the mound against the Rays, he's now optioned to AAA in Nashville?
Yeah, well, Tobias, had a great year last year. He was one of the Brewers' best pitchers over the second half of the season, certainly. And he showed flashes of that against Houston, but he struggled a little bit with throwing strikes. He's walked too many guys, and I think there's another level for Tobias to find, and so he'll go to AAA and get a little bit of a reset. He's going to be a big part of this rotation, I think, before it's all over. But he was coming back off an injury himself, and that just throws the schedule off. When you get injured in the middle of spring training and you have to start over and you're kind of pushing yourself maybe even harder than you should be to get yourself ready and back on that big league mound. So he'll take a little time in the minors, but I will see Tobias back with the big league club. I have no doubt about that.
Lane, how nice is that stadium in Cleveland?
I really like it. This is old Jacobs Field. It's now called Progressive Field. And it's a great stadium. When they first built this stadium, you go back to the early 90s, and I mean, this place was sold out every single night. And it's kind of built straight up in the upper deck. The lower bowl sets out really nicely. There's great sight lines. I love this place. A quick story for you. I toured this stadium when I was a senior in high school. I was in Cleveland for a convention that I went on with my senior class, and we toured this stadium, and I honked the bullpen cart underneath in the service level where their batting cages were, and it felt like the tour got cut off pretty quick. So I think we kind of got kicked out of the tour. And we also got in trouble because when we were out in the bullpens, we kept picking up the phone saying, "Give me Vaughn," and they didn't think that was funny either. So
such a rebel.
Yeah, you and me. I'm crossing too many lines.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I always think about that when I come to this ballpark now in a professional capacity.
And you get escorted to the booth, and right out of the booth, they take you from your car to the booth.
They have a picture of me. They're like, "You're not allowed here, sir. You're going to have to call these games remotely."
Do not linger. This guy is not to linger anywhere. He is Lane Grindle. Lane, have a great call tonight.
I will. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It is 4:14 at WTMJ. I don't know if you've seen the headline. Apparently, Qatar is going to give us a plane, a $400 million plane that's going to be the new Air Force One after it gets outfitted and set for security and all that stuff. And it's causing quite a bit of controversy, a foreign government giving us the plane that will become Air Force One. What are the pros and cons of this? Is it an issue? We've got details up next.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show. Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. There's no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now. Right now, check this out. You can get up to 6 years of 0% financing at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. That's right, no interest for 72 months. And the full Pella experience is always included. That means the Pella team is with you from start to finish. They don't disappear after the work is done. They are with you for whatever you need. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing right now. A Pella-designed expert will listen to your vision and then give you the different colors, sizes. They customize everything to help you make that vision a reality. I know it can feel overwhelming to consider what feels like limitless possibilities. For our project, Gina Della, her team, they sat down with us at the kitchen table, walked us through all the options, made us feel super comfortable. Pella's design team can narrow down those options and do it now. 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions apply. Deal ends the end of the month. Visit PellaWI.com today.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, we profile the average John or Jane Doe who had no idea when they got up one morning that they'd be saving a life, becoming everyday heroes. 16-year-old boy named Tyler Snowden.
I was in my house. I heard screaming. I seen the kid on top of the roof. The house was on fire. So I took a ladder, ran over, put the ladder up, grabbed the 4 kids, and helped the mom down the ladder. I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I just took the ladder and ran.
Everyday hero on Wisconsin's Morning News, presented by Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living, transforming the culture of care.
Traffic is sponsored by the Heiser Automotive Group. Come in and make that deal. Visit Heiser Automotive Group with 4 convenient locations or online at heiser.com. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Lincoln, and Cadillac. Today's your day.
Traffic and weather. Debbie Loziga, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. Yeah, things are really slow on southbound 41. Basically from before, just past Good Hope Road, all the way down past Capitol Drive. Once you get past that, your speeds will pick up and you'll get to the standard speeds all the way down through the Zoo Interchange. Matter of fact, the bypass is looking pretty good at this point down to the Hale. On the northbound side, that's slowing down from about Watertown Plank Road all the way up almost to Hampton. We've also got some slowdowns on southbound 43 backing up from about Keefe all the way down through the Marquette to about Lincoln. Then you're up and easing up off the brake a little bit heading past the KK River. Northbound side's backed up from Kilbourne up to Keefe. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
And your forecast. Partly cloudy, a few showers late tonight, a low of 52. Tomorrow, scattered showers, a high of 74. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 77. Thursday, maybe a thunderstorm or two, a high of 82. On Friday, breezy, a high of 71 degrees. Right now, it's mostly sunny and 67.
Wisconsin's Afternoon the News podcast is sponsored by Dave Drake Camp Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDrakeCamp.com.
I'm fascinated by this story. It's just different, unusual. We've never seen anything quite like this. A jumbo jet, a luxury 747, is being given by the royal family of Qatar to the Pentagon, and it will become the new Air Force One while we wait on the retrofitted, or I should say, new planes that they're building to become Air Force One, come into the fleet. Donald Trump accepting the gift, and shortly before he leaves office, it will leave the service of the Air Force. Let's get some detail on this. Ann Flaherty, senior national policy reporter from ABC News, is with us. And I don't even know where to begin. I guess let's start with, what do we know about the plane?
Well, this certainly isn't just any jet. This is a $400 million jumbo luxury jet. We're talking 2 fully furnished floors, plush carpet, leather couches, 2 bedrooms. It's very opulent, particularly compared to the Air Force One that President Trump is flying in now. Now, that's a very old plane. There are 2 of them. I believe they were built in the 1990s, and President Trump has been complaining that, look, Boeing needs to step it up here and get us the new Air Force Ones that we can fly on, because this is just not going to do. So the royal family from Qatar stepped forward and said, you know what, you could probably just fly our plane, and they brought it to West Palm Beach. Now, of course, there is a part of the Constitution that says you can't accept gifts from foreign countries. Now, presidents have in the past accepted some gifts, but then they become gifted to the nation. They don't go to the actual president. So, for example, President Obama got a sword from Saudi Arabia, and then that has been gifted. It's cataloged by the National Archives, and it's gifted to the country, and the country gets to keep it. What's different here is that this arrangement seems to say that once President Trump leaves office, it would go with him, and it would go with him to a presidential library that has yet to be set up. So a lot of questions about whether or not that would break the law. Ethics officials we've spoken to say there's no doubt. DOJ is saying, we don't think there's any bribery because he's not doing anything in exchange.
So it would be available for use shortly before he leaves office. So are you saying that he would use it, or would go to like his future museum?
Well, it would certainly be possible that he would use it, because it would be a working aircraft. It wouldn't necessarily be decommissioned. Now, we did put that question to him, and he said, no, I wouldn't use it. But he initially said, I don't know. I hadn't really thought about it. For example, there is a 707 that Reagan flew in, other presidents flew in, and it was gifted to his presidential library when it was decommissioned, when it was taken out of service. And people can actually tour that. And it's and they recreated it so that it looked exactly like when Reagan flew it. But that was not a plane that he flew after he left office. This seems to be an arrangement that says, he could if he wanted to. I don't know why you would take a $400 million jet out of circulation if it was perfectly operable.
Right. It seems like he intends to use it, or why would we? I mean, isn't the Air Force, if there's any intent in using it, even as a retired president, need to tear it apart looking for surveillance equipment and checking the integrity of the plane? I mean, you can't just fly the plane and say, yeah, we're good to go and start to use it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I think that, I think most people know from home that this is an aircraft that the president has to fly. He's got to be able to command the U.S. government from the sky. So if you remember after 9/11, President Bush was on a trip and he immediately got back onto Air Force One, and he was, essentially running the government from that aircraft. So it's an extraordinarily sensitive, protected aircraft. It's not something that you can just, it's not a luxury jet. So it would actually cost the country money to refurbish it. And then, of course, we still have these contracts underway with Boeing. Boeing, by the way, has testified recently that they're actually going to be ahead of schedule after being behind schedule in the past. They think they can speed it up a little bit. But, of course, President Trump, he wants something that he can fly in now that is nicer than what he has. And he says, I would be stupid to turn this down. Ethics experts, again, say, well, it's opens you up to potential for bribery, and that's not the way the U.S. works.
And Qatar says they're not going to gift it to him when he visits.
Well, so he is on this trip this week. He's going to the Middle East. Qatar has said that, all of this is under negotiation, but we're not going to announce it this week. That seems to be a little bit of semantics. But, of course, this is not a done deal. This is something that's being talked about. Of course, he's getting a lot of blowback in the press from it. But his Justice Department says we don't see any problem with it.
It's interesting because you brought up the Reagan plane, and many of us have been to the Reagan plane out there, and it's pretty cool. But it was sent to the library and then not used again. This seems like maybe this is, after he leaves office, going to be donated to Trump to continue to use before it eventually ends up at the library. Does that change anything?
Well, that's the big question, because the reason why the Constitution has that you can't buy somebody, you can't accept a gift from a foreign country is for the reason that you would potentially be open to bribery. I mean, with the Trump family has a lot of business in Qatar. There was a luxury golf resort deal that was talked about just a couple weeks ago. So, you don't use the U.S. government and the place in the White House to enrich yourself, and everyone knows that. So, the White House seems to be splitting hairs here and saying, well, he won't, because he has an American first agenda. He will work on behalf of the American people. So it's kind of this trust us thing, but it's just never been done before. It's not something that the U.S. has done, and presidents in the past have been very careful not to accept those gifts. One of my favorite presidential gifts was a Komodo dragon that was given to George H.W. Bush by Indonesia. That is in the Cincinnati Zoo. He did not take that home. So, maybe it's just nothing has been gifted that's been really this useful before.
Barbara's like, we'll take the China, but not the dragon. Do not bring that thing home.
Exactly.
Oh, good stuff. Ann Flaherty, senior national policy reporter for ABC News, the Pentagon. Thank you so much, Ann.
Thank you.
It is a fascinating story, that's for sure. How'd the markets do today? The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update, they did great. That's how the Dow soaring more than 1,100 points. U.S.-China pact kind of fueling the rally today. The NASDAQ was even better. Let's start with that because it was up 4 1/3%. That's 779 points on the day. The Dow was up 1,161 points. That's almost 3%. The S&P 500 was up 184 points on the day. That is 3.25%. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com.
We didn't write the headline, the Wall Street Journal did. The days of set and forget investing just ended for many Americans. Economic uncertainty and global unrest. It's a wake-up call. Standard financial advice is to avoid making rash decisions during market turmoil. But retirement planning isn't a set it and forget it process anymore. That's where Annex Wealth Management comes in. As fee-only fiduciaries, we craft personalized plans that adapt as needed. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
With the trees budding and the flowers blooming, take a beautiful drive this week through the Kettle Moraine Forest. I love this time of year in the Kettle Moraine. Take that drive for a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. It's the most unique and affordable dining destination in Wisconsin. Your second dinner is free. Order your favorite steak, seafood, the pan-fried walleye, which I love, a big fresh salad, maybe the steak and lobster or ribs, even prime rib on Wednesday. Any entree, your second dinner is free. Desserts are also buy one, get one free, and there's new desserts on that dessert tray they bring around. Ooh, and Caden, our favorite server, brings that around. It's just heaven. Unwind with a sweet old-fashioned, 20 bourbons, 100 wines, celebrate a birthday, anniversary, or maybe a quiet, free dinner with your love in one of those 8 dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of Holy Hill. The spring drive is spectacular. Fox and Hounds gift cards make perfect year-round gifts, as your second dinner is always free. Order online at foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Just walk on in tonight for your free Fox and Hounds dinner.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. For more than 8 years, QC Kinetics has been the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain. You heard that right, non-surgical relief. More than 50,000 patients who had knee pain, back pain, now living pain-free. Those with shoulder and hip pain, it's gone. The regenerative cell therapy restores tissues in your achy joints. Dr. Caravelli's team uses biologic growth factors with robust healing properties carefully and strategically placed in your joint. And there's no surgery. Remember that. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life, repairing the old tissue. Here's what you do. You call today, 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like 15% off assorted Kurt trailer hitch accessories, name brand tires, or buy 3, get 1 free for rewards members. Plus, as a family-owned business, we offer the Blaine's Best Price Promise, guaranteeing you'll always find the lowest price with us, or we'll match it. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family. They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family, caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Pain, tingling, burning in your hand and wrist, wakes you up at night, makes life difficult. Working with your hands is nearly impossible. If that sounds like you may suffer with carpal tunnel syndrome. The problem is Medicare pays for the old open surgery done in a hospital or surgery center. And it's no walk in the park. Big incision, 6-week recovery. I mean, imagine your hands being bandaged up, unable to use it for 6 weeks. So if you want to, you can have that old open surgery the government says to get, or you have another option, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office that can give you immediate relief in 15 minutes and you are back to your life in just 1 day. The Ovation Technique, only at Ovation Hand Institute. You've suffered long enough. You don't have to put the fix off anymore. Visit ovationhand.com and see the difference with your own eyes. ovationhand.com.
Get help for your house this Saturday from Eric Brown. The president of Siding Unlimited knows his stuff. Yes, their name is Siding, but they do so much more. Windows by Pella and others, roofing, decks. That's why they are Siding Unlimited. Eric can advise you with anything about your home's exterior. Make a point to listen and call Eric this Saturday on WTMJ's Fix It Show. And remember why they are called Siding Unlimited. They are siding and much, much more. See sidingunlimited.com and you'll see.
Traffic is sponsored by Flanners Home Entertainment, flanners.com. Just press play.
Upgrade your entertainment setup today. For the best in audio and video for your home, indoors and outdoors, Flanners Home Entertainment delivers sound advice at the best price. Flanners, just press play.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 4:30. I'm John Mercure. Your top story, the death toll rises in a Milwaukee apartment fire.
I'm Julia Fellow. MPS gets a big donation.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Got a problem. We got a crash on southbound 43 right about at Locust. The left lane is blocked, so watch out for that. It's going to be a tight squeeze heading through there from Capitol Drive down to that point. You're back on the brakes then from about North Avenue down through the Marquette and over the high-rise bridge. Northbound side slowing down from Kilbourne up to Keefe. Westbound 94, watch for delays coming out of the 13th Street area all the way to Hawley Road. And a disabled vehicle on 894 eastbound right about at 76th Street, causing a little bit of a backup all the way into the Hale. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Few showers are possible late tonight, a low of 52. Scattered showers tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy. 65 at the lake, 74 inland.
From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, 5 people are dead, 3 are in critical condition after an apartment fire in Milwaukee's Concordia neighborhood. First responders rescued about 30 people from the Highland Court apartments yesterday. Others jumped from the building's 3rd and 4th floors. Milwaukee Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says the residential area of the building did not have sprinklers.
So what happens is a building built before 1974 of certain size, shape, dimension, occupancy was not required to have sprinklers. And so in 1974, when it became law to sprinkler a building like this, folks, it's called the grandfather clause. Nobody was required to go back and make that building fire safe.
Lipsky told us moments ago that almost 50 people were rescued just on ladders alone, saying his firefighters were exhausted. 100 people are now without a home.
A 3-year-old is recovering after the 3-year-old was shot overnight on the northwest side. Shooting happened near 34th and Hour just before 11 o'clock. Police say they are still searching for suspects.
Milwaukee Public School Superintendent is receiving local assistance.
Milwaukee's business and philanthropic community is backing a new $500,000 fund to the work of MPS Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius. Announced by the Greater Milwaukee Committee, the Superintendent Leader Impact Fund is designed to help Dr. Caselius move quickly on priorities like rebuilding trust within the community, staff development, enrollment progression, and internal communication. Leaders say the goal is to give MPS a stronger foundation as the district works to address major challenges. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A local charity files a lawsuit over millions in fraud.
Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Milwaukee is suing its former finance director and an auditing firm. The social services agency alleges Brandy Ellis of Milwaukee misappropriated millions of dollars in 2 schemes. The first by paying false invoices and the second by using corporate credit cards for personal purchases. The lawsuit accuses auditing firm Baker Tilly of failing to recognize the fraud. This comes after Catholic Charities identified 4 employees believed to be involved in a years-long scheme to steal over $1.5 million. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
All right, Brewers baseball up next. Couple quick notes here. The podcast page has great stuff on it. Exclusive interview with Aaron Lipsky. Our Corgi, why do I keep saying Corgi? Our Scotty.
Yeah.
Scotty in the studio. You can see that. And our bagpiper in the studio. Text the word WHAN to 855-616-1620. Now it's Brewers